Hello, everybody. Everybody, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Saturday Show. You can see Theus is my guest today. I asked him to pop in for a very special Father's Day episode. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, but I'll be on tomorrow, so I'll officially wish you all happy Father's Day. Then, before we get started, got some bills to pay. Subscribe. We are up to 374. We're moving up. We're getting closer to that 1,000. That 1,000 is the goal. That way I can get super chats. 1,000. We want 1,000 subscribers, so we got to get there. Support me on Patreon. Patreon support starts at $2 a month. And it helps me to buy, well, essentially new equipment because one of my lights just went out today. So boo-hoo, but I'll get that taken care of. Visit the official merchandise store where you can get t-shirts and hoodies. Right now, that's all you can get, but hopefully it will expand. Join the mailing list because, as I stated before, today the newsletter is out, but of course, I don't have anybody to send it to. So just join the mailing list so you can get the newsletter July 15th, because it comes out the 15th of every month. That'll be tomorrow. But it comes out the 15th of every month, so you can still sign up for that. And final, next to last one, we've itched up the number. Help us to get 75 likes and 40 shares. And final announcement. Mark your calendars. Saturday, September the 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am sponsoring a channel fundraiser. Help us to raise $700. $600 goes to StreamYard, and the $100 goes to, I think it's going to be lights because I desperately need lights. With that, Theus, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Father's Day is always hard for me because my dad's been gone 8 years. And I don't like to admit I'm a daddy's girl, but I pretty much was. So I'm okay. But it's a little hard. But that's why I did today's episode, because I wanted to see who do people think the best sitcom dads are. And I chose sitcom because I think laughter is healing medicine. I think when you laugh, you release all those endorphins, your body feels better, you feel better. So I thought, hey, let's talk about sitcom dads and how great they were. Now, on my list, I'm telling you right now, Bill Cosby will not be on my list. Y'all know why.
He's on mine.
He's on everybody else, but I'm like, nah, I can't.
Oh, you said sitcom dad. I mean, you're not talking about the person. You're talking about the character. Because if you go into the personality, a lot of these people that you think you like, dig into them. You ain't gonna like them too much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like it. But here's the thing: I didn't like the Cosby Show. This is before I knew that Bill Cosby was a terrible person. I didn't like it then, and I don't like it then. I can name like maybe 1 or 2 episodes that I actually sat down and said, "Oh, that's funny." So I wouldn't put him in there anyway. His personal stuff, that just is kind of like frosting on the cake to me.
No, I think everybody has their position and they're entitled to it. I think that it's easy to do that just because of how it was portrayed and put in front of us, but they selectively choose who to put up in front of us to be torn apart.
I mean, Bob Saget.
It's his turn, and they did it.
I would put Bob Saget on the list of good TV sitcom dads, and apparently he was a terrible person.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, and so I think he passed away in his hotel room. But if that's the right person, like home video guy,
he was Full House.
Yeah, but didn't he go on to be like the home videos guy? No, not the same guy. Okay,
I don't know. That's a good question. Was he on America? Y'all just watching. Was Bob Saget on America's Funniest Home Videos? He might have been, because that's another show I didn't watch. But when
he was the original. It says he was the original host of America's Funniest Home Videos.
Well,
I didn't think he was the original, but
I just
I mean, I don't know much about his background. I don't know. When it comes to entertainers, usually entertainers are a different breed anyway, you know, because it's a certain kind of personality that wants to be in that kind of mode, and most of them are troubled. Just like having a troubled comedian, it's just common. Like most of the comedians, or a lot of the comedians, extremely troubled, you know, and they're trying to portray what's, you know, broken. But yeah, I don't know much about that because I didn't like Full House. I didn't like that show.
What? How rude.
Yeah, I did not like that show. The kids were annoying to me. I couldn't relate to just about anything about it. It was a complete miss for me.
Yep. Now here's how this is gonna work. We're gonna list. I get to pick 5. B is to pick 5. I'm pretty sure our list is gonna match up pretty much. It's gonna match up.
I gotta think about my 5 now.
I can name some terrible sitcom dads. I think Homer Simpson is a terrible dad.
Oh, he loves his family.
No, he literally chokes. You can't be choking your child.
He has definite anger issues.
Like, dude.
But he was a complicated man struggling under the weight of trying to make it in this society and in this hyper-capitalist situation. And he doesn't have very high educational opportunities or professional opportunities. However, he was able to win out in some strange way because, as dumb as he is, he's got a house, car, stay-at-home wife, kids playing music. You know, he wasn't broke.
He's a terrible dad. I'm like, he's literally choking Bart, who is just him. Then his father is a terrible father. I'm like, is this running a family? Does this run in the family?
Yeah, usually, yeah.
Who else was a terrible? I don't know if you watched this show, but the Patrick Duffy character on Step by Step, he was a terrible sitcom dad.
I remember the name Step by Step.
And here's my problem, because I only think of Patrick Duffy, I think Dallas. So I'm like, you're not a sitcom dad. You just not a sitcom dad to me. You're Bobby Ewing. Be Bobby Ewing. So those are my 2 choices for terrible. And all the fathers of the 50s, like Ward Cleaver and Father on Father Knows Best, they were so nondescript. I can't really put them on the list, but like, yeah, that ain't nobody's daddy like that. Nobody's daddy is like that. So I'm
sure you got Michael Landon on there somewhere.
Let me tell you something. Don't you badmouth Michael Landon. That man was a fantastic father. He was loving. He was kind. He was gentle. Okay. He played the violin. How many fathers out here? First of all, don't you see?
How is that a character trait? You can play the violin.
That means he's patient. That means he has the endurance to. Do you know how hard it is to play the violin? That means
no, I can't play any instrument.
That means he had to play an instrument. You have to have dedication. You have to have you have to set aside a time to say, I'm going to practice this. And he played it.
Every instrument.
That's what I'm saying. That's what made him a great father. He took those skills and put it towards his parents. He never raised a hand.
Was James Brown a great father?
I don't know James Brown is a great father. I just know him as a singer.
Was Ike Turner a great father?
According to his son, he was.
How can you be a great father if you're abusive to their mother?
I don't know. Ask Ike Turner Jr. I'm going by what he said. But he took those skills. He took those skills that he learned by playing the violin and he applied it to his children. He never raised a hand to his children at all. But
I don't know. Little House on the Prairie. Didn't he swat somebody? I don't know. I ain't watched the show too
He
tight,
swapped that little 16-year-old boy. But you know, back then, a 16-year-old, that was like an adult anyway. So
no, stop it. I mean, I know back then because they died when they were 45, but I'm just saying it was still a kid.
He was a disciplinarian, but he never, I can't remember an episode where he ever struck a child. Period. I don't remember it. So I think he's in my top definitely he's in my top. I can't even doubt that. Nope. Yep, Michael Landon.
Now,
And he had and he was a girl dad until he adopted that one little boy. But he was a girl.
That's not a character trait either. I'm a girl dad, but I'm a girl dad because I didn't have sons.
But you have to have more patience in fathering daughters. All daughters?
Oh, no.
You know that.
No. See, here's the thing. It's different, right? Raising girls, they teach you patience. Boys try your patience. So yeah, it's
I think he was the perfect. If I'm thinking of the perfect father, oh, he's it. I'm gonna pick him all the time.
Okay. So, are you naming your 5 yet, or is that
just going each and then I'm name one thing? You name one. You name one. I name one.
Oh, okay. You want me to give you one?
Yes.
I'm gonna give you one just to get under your skin, because I do like this guy, Al Bundy.
I agree with you. I agree. He's a great dad.
How are you gonna say he's a great dad, but Homer Simpson's a problem?
Al Bundy was real to me. Like, people would be watching Cosby Show. That's a real dad. Al Bundy. It was his struggle. Like, he struggled for his family. Like,
So did Homer.
Al Bundy did not ever choke Kelly or Bud, and I can't believe that was his real name. But no, you're not gonna get under my skin.
He would lead the family in fights. He would get drunk.
But he would punch adults. He wouldn't punch children.
I don't know now. He might have
he even hit that little boy 7, and that boy was agitating.
I don't even remember. I remember 7 being in the show at the very end. That was when you knew it was over.
No, because it bounced back. They got rid of him, and then it came back. And then Kelly got smart, and then he was like, "Nah, this ain't the same show." Yeah, Al Bundy, you're not gonna. No, that's not gonna. I think he was a great dad. Now, was he faithful to Peggy? Yes. He was faithful to Peggy, and she was just like openly lusting after men.
Yeah, he was openly lusting after women.
He did. And he called Marcy a chicken every episode. I don't care what it was.
I always thought Marcy was cute.
What?
I did. I always thought she was cute.
I think Peggy was pretty, but
Peggy was cute. But I thought Marcy was cute. I thought it was just what they did. It's kind of like with Martin, how they kept calling Pam out like she wasn't easily the most beautiful one out of the 2 main female.
Yeah, I'm like, easily she's the prettiest one. I'm like, well, she way prettier than that one. And he calls her BDB, but that's colorism. That's a whole different episode. Colorism.
What, BDB?
Yeah, the dark skinned one got to be the ugly one.
Yeah, mainly because she has short hair. But the other one has short hair. So it was you're right.
Has short hair.
It was I did not like that dynamic at all.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna argue with you on Al Bundy. That I'm just not gonna argue with you. Here's one that you probably gonna say, Tracy, you gotta be in your mind. But this is an honorable mention. Although he didn't have children himself, Uncle Jesse, Dukes of Hazzard.
I know nothing about that show. I hated everything about that show. I never watched that show. I tried to watch it a few times, like trying to watch In the Heat of the Night. Like, it's just that kind of show where it was on TBS, so I had, but no, hated that show.
Loved it. Except for the Coy and Vance years. This is why I think Uncle Jesse was a great father. Technically, he was not Bo, Luke, and Daisy's father. He didn't. They were not his seed. However, when Uncle Jesse spoke, them kids was like, "Oh, whatever you say, Uncle Jesse." And Uncle Jesse, unlike the other fathers I named, he wasn't afraid to raise that hand and say, "Hey, look, this is the way it's going to go. It's going to go this way because I said so." He took care of 3 children.
You don't have to use violence to raise children, though.
I'm just saying what his word was law. His word was law.
I mean, my word is law, but I ain't putting my hands on nobody. But it's different, Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I'm talking about in the context of the show itself. No, I don't advocate parents putting their hands on their kids. I don't advocate that. But in the context of the show, I'm like, yes. When he spoke, they said, when Uncle Jesse said jump, they was like, ha, ha. How am I jumping? When Bo and Luke got in that fight and he said stop, they stopped, broke up. And he said, y'all gonna make up. They made up. No, they never questioned him. They never went against what he said. And he was wise. Uncle Jesse was out here spitting that wisdom.
I don't know. I never got past the car.
Okay, the car. See, again, you got to think of. I think of it as a context of the show. Did the Confederate flag never? It never really bothered me because I was a kid.
Never bothered me. Even as a kid,
Like
somebody wasn't right. Somebody wasn't right.
Yeah, it just never bothered me like that. And then as I got older, I'm like, oh, I see what people are saying.
No, everything about that show, like the closest I could try to get to that show was like I liked Smokey and the Bandit, and this seemed like a TV version of Smokey and the Bandit to me. You know, fast car, running from the law type of thing. But I just could never connect with it. And I'm talking about from the standpoint of being a kid, not me now hyper racialized me. I'm talking about just as a kid. I just could not get past like that. Even not truly understanding it, that flag has always disturbed me. Even before I knew what it was, it always disturbed me.
And I guess I'm the total opposite. As a child, the flag never bothered me. It never bothered me. The car was named General Lee. It never bothered me.
That didn't matter to me because I didn't know who Robert E. Lee was at the time.
Yeah, because I'm like, how old was I? Dukes of Hazzard was on in '79, so I was like 4.
Well, I would have been watching it in reruns, so it would have been in the 80s that I saw.
Yeah, you'd have watched it in the 80s, but I actually watched it because I was like 5 when it came on. I'm 5 years old. I don't know what that flag means. It never bothered me. Now, as an adult, okay, yeah, it bothers me, but I'm still probably gonna watch the show because I think he's a really strong father figure. No, he wasn't. And you don't have to be a biological, that proves something else. You don't have to be somebody's biological father to be their father.
Fathers of all, I mean, not to pit one against the other, but as a father, that has always been known by us. Like, it's like we don't draw lines between biological dad and stepdad and, you know, the guy who's playing the role of dad and you're a dad. Like this really like how we roll on at least in the spheres that I've moved in. Where I have seen lines is where how women will sometimes split themselves off. And I'm like, even if you like the best auntie, you're being a mother. Like give people their credit for stepping up when other people didn't want to step up, you know? But yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like if you are in love with raising a kid, there you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and Mike Tyson, custom motto was like dad to him.
Yeah, that's why I picked him, because I'm like, that embodies me. He stepped up when it was necessary. That means he had 3 siblings. They all died and said, you know what? We're going to send these kids to Uncle Jesse because he knows what's best. That's my pick. Okay, so you next.
Man, he lost all his siblings? Man, that's messed up. Who I got?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and go with Heathcliff Huxtable.
Yeah, now we can fight. Yeah, now we can fight.
Heathcliff Huxtable. He was the dynamite dad. He showed patience, humor, sternness, wisdom. He was all those things. He showed how to love your woman. He showed how to love your kids. He showed how to toe the line. He showed how to hold a job down. He showed how, like, he was, I mean, I know it's, it's scripted, but he was scripted as a fully well-rounded dad. And exactly at a time, because you got to understand Bill Cosby to understand how Heathcliff Huxtable came around. So Bill Cosby has always been a cultural icon. So he wanted something that would show that aspirational and the best parts of us outward, because there was so much negative programming about us, right? We were always drafted as being like one-dimensional, or if we were a good father, we had to be poor, right? It was, so to me, that the Cosby Show and Different World, because it continued on. That was his daughter going off to college, even though they got rid of her after the first season.
And then she came back to the show. Now, I love A Different World. I loved
Up until the last season, yeah.
Yeah, right up until Dwayne and Whitley got married.
It was fine after Whitley and Dwayne got married. You know when it went bad? It went bad when Jada Pinkett got on. The moment her character started, it was
over. Yes, you are so right. Oh my goodness, you are so right.
Yeah, she ruined that one.
And Tupac was on there.
He had like a little spot, a little cameo.
Yeah, but he
spot.
wasn't on there like a regular, but he had like a guest appearance.
Yeah, but yeah, as soon as Jada got it that was it. It was over. You know, her character was just terrible.
Then they had Sinbad. Then he got written off, and then whatchamacallit girl that wrote the theme song ended up dating the military guy. I'm like, this ain't
they
right.
had released to marry Colonel Taylor.
Yeah, I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah, that's when when it's starting to get to the end, they start tying up like storylines that don't make sense anymore. But for the rest of the time, it's dynamite show, and I loved The Different World. I loved The Cosby Show. I just loved all of that. Not only because it was a happy time of my childhood, watching Theo and Denise and all of them go through navigating young, being children and stuff, and seeing them portrayed as just normal children. Like it wasn't like all I had around me was a whole bunch of, white television shows. So that was all I saw as far as what you got to be as far as a young person. And to see the Cosby kids play all the exact same roles, go through many of the exact same issues, and be able to relate to what I'm looking at, yeah, that was dope. And then on another level, Cosby Show and Different World, that sent an entire generation of us to college.
Yes. People, yes, black children.
It's like a whole generation of us was like, yeah, that's where I want to go to Hillman.
Yeah, but here's my problem with Bill Cosby. Unless one terrible person, but in terms of the Cosby Show itself, it was like let's take a white dad, let's compose a white dad, but make him black. Mm-mm. It just. I'm like, I don't
think that you would frame it that way, because like what was it that would make him a white dad if not for his color?
I just think they took like a lot of and it's hard for me to explain it. They took a lot of those characteristics, like you never saw him yell. You never, and listen, I only watched 5 episodes of The Cosby Show, period. So I'm just basing this off of the 5 episodes because I was more watching Who's the Boss. I really wasn't watching The Cosby Show like that. I was on ABC, not NBC. But the 5 episodes I watched, I'm just like, don't nobody. Oh, Marlon said send him the link because I just sent it to him. It was just like they just took like typical. It was father knows best, but everybody was black.
That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Because only watched 5 episodes, so it's not like I
get it, but you had time over the last 40 years to, even if you don't watch the show, you know about the show, and I'm sure what's happened in the last 10 years has definitely colored you looking backwards because you don't have the emotional attachment to the show.
Yeah, I have.
You know what I'm saying? So I can get it. It's just what I would love, and I know this isn't the time for it, but I would love to really dig into that thing. And some people in our community where if it's positive, then it must be white, and then it's a black person playing white, and that's deeply hurtful. But I know a lot of reasons where it can come from. But I'm just saying, one day it would be great to really dig into that because we're not negative. We're portrayed negative.
I just couldn't get, and I was trying. Like people like, this is the greatest show ever. I'm like, but I love The Different World. I'm trying to send this tomorrow.
Was really good.
I loved it, and I had the biggest crush on Dwayne Wade. Oh, Lord,
my crush was Whitley. I legit went to college looking for my Whitley. I should have went to an HBCU, but I didn't. But I went to college looking for my Whitley, and ultimately, my wife is very much like a Whitley. So there you go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to email Marlon this link. For some reason I can't do it.
I gotta
He
try
said
to find his
he said
email.
send it to his email, not his messenger.
All right, well,
Although
let's see
if
if
he
we can.
just checked messenger, it would be literally right there. Yeah, I just could. It was just
Well,
like
see,
this
when
is
it
fun.
comes to my messenger, I have to email it to myself because I don't have messenger on my computer.
Oh my gosh.
Remember, I'm
Okay,
the guy who
that's.
doesn't have Facebook, so you know.
But I just couldn't get with it. I'm just like, it wasn't real to me. It's like he's not a real dad. He
But
was
Father's
too.
Knows Best was,
I didn't like Father's Knows Best for some
or
reason.
My Two Sons, or Little House on a Prairie,
No,
or
I'm
Highway
telling
to
you, dude,
Heaven,
don't
or
put Michael Landis. No, he was the perfect TV dad.
it's the same thing though. None of it's real.
I'm just like
All
he
of it
not.
is selling you an image and a feeling. All of it is. So it's good to have something that sells a positive feeling to us. Like, well, other than that, what did we have? Like, we had and this wasn't in the same era. You had to go back an era to get to it, but you had Good Times. Well, now we got to be in the projects for you to get Good Times. We had the Jeffersons, but the Jeffersons was just like an angry black, well-to-do family fighting against
And you
being
can't.
surrounded
I
by
know
white
people that
people.
own dry cleaners. They ain't got no money.
I mean, but in a way, it was an aspirational thing. But I'm just saying, like,
I just could. It's just like this show is not. I think, like you
Cosby Show's
said,
hilarious.
I'm thinking of the Cosby Show in the way the 5 episodes I saw, and I'm just like, this ain't it.
You watched the wrong episodes. You had to watch the one where Theo wanted to be like regular people.
And I watched the one where Denise or Claire or whatever the little girl, the troublesome girl,
Vanessa,
whatever her
Vanessa
name
and
was. I
chocolate.
don't even know the kids' names. That's the thing. I can't
Okay,
even
so we
name.
need to move to another dad. Who else you got?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
this ain't gonna work.
my next TV dad is Carl Winslow.
Uh,
Carl Winslow. Okay, Harriet kind of kept him in check a lot. However, he was a cop, so he out there he trying to be a blue collar working family guy. He loved his family, and sure, Judy Winslow went upstairs and she never came back down. But
she shouldn't have snuck out the window. Bad kid.
but I gotta put Carl Winslow on the list. I gotta put Carl Winslow on the list.
Well, he makes your list. He ain't making mine.
What?
But see, kind of like how you have like different emotional attachments to TV shows, which informs like your choices. I do too. So like as a kid, I looked like Urkel. So I hated everything about Family Matters. Everything about it. I hated it. So never liked it.
I honestly don't care one way or the other. I honestly don't. He can make the list. He don't make the list. I don't care. I never looked at Carl Winslow as one of the greatest TV dads. He's just
to me, he kind of fades in the background.
He's just a regular dude to me.
Yeah.
That's what makes him a great dad. Dads are regular people. They're just regular.
No, dads are like superheroes.
They can be.
If we're talking about a great list, like, it's somebody who stands above. Because most, especially in TV world, TV dads are often like bumbling.
Eddie was racially profiled. He threw that chair and didn't do nothing to the guy. But I mean,
Marlon, you're frozen, bro.
No,
Marlon, you're frozen. You
I'm
must be
frozen.
on your. You must be on. Yeah, you're on your phone because you are froze.
Am I?
Yes.
Yeah.
You are froze.
The video is froze. We can hear you fine.
We can hear you fantastic, but you're not moving.
Yeah, but Carl Winslow is a forgettable dad to me.
That's because you look. That's because you say you look like Urkel. Now we can see. Okay, now we can. So Marlon, what we're doing is we're giving he's 2 behind.
Yeah, I've given Al Bundy and Bill Cosby, and you
Al
gave
Bundy.
Yes, we both agree. Thea thought he was going to throw me without Bundy, and I'm like, yeah, he's a good TV. Yes, I think he is one of the great TV.
He's a good dad.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't a very good citizen, but he was a good dad.
He would do anything for his children. Anything.
And they always ate before he did.
Thank you.
Because they got to the kitchen before he did. And he hated that. Of course they ate before he did. That doesn't make him a great dad. It just make him slow.
He sacrificed for his family. He was out there selling shoes. And somehow he had a house, a whole house with a garage and a car and a wife that did not work. She had nan job.
Yeah, his food stamp game must have been on point.
I mean,
but it's like, and then he always had cash. Like whenever they needed to do something, he always broke off some cash.
Yep, he sure did.
We're gonna move on to the Cosby Show because, bro,
So you agree with this that Heathcliff Huxtable was a great TV dad?
Who?
Heathcliff Huxtable.
He was, to an extent. The only issue that I have with the Cosby Show and him being a dad is the kids were not, outrageous kids. So I really couldn't get the scope of his skills to be a dad. I mean,
that's the reflection of his skills.
That's even though I don't think he was a great TV dad, I'm gonna have to agree with this there. Because
he was a good dad. I just can't put him up there.
I'll put it like this. Bro. To personalize it just a little bit. I got 3 kids. All 3 of them. Awesome. Like, awesome. I think I should get some credit for the fact that I have not had a kid wilding out on me.
The first 3 episodes was automatically episodes from his stand-up comedy. That was pretty much the closest you gonna get to the crazy kid thing. But after that, it was like, hey, yo, your room is dirty. Vanessa, you supposed to be home at 10 and it's 10:01. What we gonna do? I'm like, these are your issues?
You needed more chaos in your life. I see.
Yeah, Marlon, your camera, I don't know what's with your camera, but it froze again.
I don't.
Yeah. But I hear you.
We hear what you're saying, but I'm
sounds like your TV
didn't have baby kids. I mean, everybody ain't got baby kids.
Yeah, everybody ain't got bad kids, man.
Now, some people do have bad. Now, say some people out there, oh, you don't want to never be around nature. Like, get that child away from me. Don't put that child nowhere near me.
One of my favorite shows, Malcolm in the Middle. But I could never put the dad on this list because he was a terrible dad. And there were some bad kids. But I enjoyed the show. But the Cosby Show had well-developed characters for each of those kids. And the kids, it was kind of like, you know what, Tracy, if you're going to draw a parallel, even though I have no real depth in this show, the parallel be more closer to the Brady Bunch. Because the kids had issues, but they were never major. The house ran well.
Because Alice was doing all the work.
Well, yeah, because in the Cosby family, both of them were working, but they were both professionals. But as far as like the family dynamic, it gave you more of that feel, right? So I guess there. But I mean, if we're watching fantasy, isn't it nice to have some fantasy that reflects your community positively?
And I will go with that. I hope y'all can hear me and not see me because I don't know what's going on. And I can go with you on that. If you're gonna go the whole portraying, even though I hate to say that word because it sounds like this is not true. But if you're portraying a wholesome Black professional driven parents and a family of kids who not on drugs, who not getting pregnant at 16, who not have, all this other stuff, then yeah, you would go this route. I just don't like, me personally, I do not like to put the word fantasy in it because that means all of this is make believe. Like there is no way
But
black
that's what
family.
TV shows are.
I know. I understand that.
It's
Because
not like
I don't like the idea of it when it comes to a wholesome white community, white family, and everything else. This is wholesome. This is beautiful. When it comes to the same thing with a black family, this is fantasy. I'm like,
I
okay,
call it all fantasy.
it's all fantasy. It's a TV show. None of it's real.
But the thing is, it's about messaging. This is why I say it's about fantasy. It's about messaging. So you had the Cosby Show, you had A Different World, you had Living Single, you had Rock, you had
Martin.
Well, Martin wasn't positive. Martin was just funny. Martin was not positive.
Oh, you're talking about positive shows. Okay, yeah.
But I mean, those were the shows that we had, but you couldn't even name all the shows that positively reflected, the white community. You just couldn't, because there's too many of them. It was all the other shows. So that's why, I mean, you guys know me. I walk in this lane anyway. But that's one of the reasons why I like that particular show, because it gave us a positive image. And it's not all, I use the word fantasy because it's make-believe, because it's scripted. But there are families like that. Like my family didn't have the money, but it was very much like that. Like no yelling, no cussing. We talked our way through things. Got spankings when we had to get spanking. Got grounded. That was my life. That was my life. But that wasn't the life for everybody, But Good Times wasn't the life for everybody either. And Full House definitely wasn't the life for most people. So
so because Marlon got in here all late, we forgot to ask. Okay, so Marlon, what I did, I started off with terrible TV dads. And I said
Michael Landon.
Michael Landon is stop.
You named it, Al Bundy.
Yep, Marlon, you froze again. Something really wrong with your camera.
Are you getting? It might be a story.
Al Bundy. As low as you can hear me, add him to one of the worst TV dads.
He's not a terrible dad. He would do anything for his family. So you said that Heathcliff Huxtable was a good TV dad. Who else do you say, Marlon, is a good TV dad?
My favorite of all time is going to be James Evans. Of all time.
I put him on my list, but he's low.
But he's on the list, right?
Yeah, he's on my list. Definitely.
Because you wouldn't want, James Evans is the type of, you didn't want to bring a bad report card home to James Evans Sr., period.
Well, I don't know. JJ was not a scholar.
But he was an artist.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
and he never degraded JJ for being an artist. Like he encouraged him to be an artist. He did. Remember when he did?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That episode where he painted that mural for that bank, and he wanted to pay him $5. He had to paint it to get the family some money.
Now you sit here talking about Al Bundy would do anything for his family, and then smirk your face when we say the same thing about James Evans. James Evans will go to H and back for his family.
He worked at a car wash on purpose.
That's why I put him on my list. He's on my list.
You got one more, Marlon. You said James Evans, Dr. Huxtable, because we got to catch you up where we are.
That's all I can think of. Y'all can just throw them at me.
Okay, I'm going to come out of the gate with a whole different choice. Now, I already said Uncle Jesse was my unconventional choice. He raised children that weren't even his. Anyway,
I just can't put a Confederate in high esteem. I don't care if it's a TV show or nothing. I'm done. Like, these people wanted my people dead. I mean, no.
But
that's like if you like My Favorite Klansman, I'm not going to be able to watch that show.
That show was not racist. I don't even get. I'm like, it wasn't.
What?
The show wasn't racist.
The show wasn't racist. I agree.
They had that one black character.
Oh wow.
They was in the South. I mean, people.
The South. Where you think we live, Tracy?
They was in a small southern town in Georgia.
Yeah, head out there to these small southern towns. Where you think we live, Tracy? Black folks are all in the South.
We're
They
in
live
the
in
South,
Atlanta,
right?
Miami, Tallahassee. They'll be living in those.
And the fact that you hold up, not you, but you hold up the Confederate flag. What did the Confederacy stand for? What was in their Articles of Confederacy?
I was a child at the time.
I get it, but I'm saying when you push back to me, that's what I was saying. That's why my face like smirks up, because at the end of the day, even if I didn't know at the time, I certainly know now that show was a propaganda arm for an ideology that really doesn't like me. Even if the show was just entertaining.
Yeah, the show was entertaining. Bo and Luke were cute. I mean, I
don't know about that. I can't say that. Daisy Dukes was incredibly plain Jane normal. Like, she wasn't nothing to me. I like the girls on Gilligan Island a whole lot more.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with
that show. That was a fun show.
Going with the old school choice, Andy Griffith. But no, we can fight all day. Andy Griffith was a fantastic father. He was a single dad, so he had to play the role of mother and father. Okay, sure, he had Aunt B there. She was there kind of.
Aunt B might as well have been mama.
But he was a fantastic father. He was patient. Mm-hmm. He was a disciplinarian. Mm-hmm. Opie knew his place with his father.
And he bought his son that wonderful dog, Lassie.
What?
That ain't the same show?
That is not the same show.
I swear it's the same show.
Andy Griffith is a fantastic dad until the color episodes.
Oh, this is going to go downhill real quick. Few shows.
Y'all gonna tell me y'all never watched not an episode of the Andy Griffith Show?
No, I know who he is. I'm not going to watch that show.
I've seen episodes of Andy Griffith Show. I actually enjoyed the show that was called My Two Sons or whatever that thing. Dobie Gillis. I like Dobie Gillis Can't Lose or whatever.
They weren't even the same time.
Hey, I'm just telling you, old black and white TV shows. I like certain ones, but to me, Lassie and the other one is the same show.
They are totally two different shows. One is about a dog that barks and they know that the person fell in a well. Like, they literally was like, oh, he's dead.
And Andy Griffith is about a jail that's always open and a town drunk that's always there.
It's a small southern town. It's a small southern town where everybody knows everybody. And they only got one sheriff's car. That's how low crime is in Mayberry. They got
it ain't about how low crime is, how low the population is. Everybody related.
They have one sheriff car. They don't have one sheriff.
No, they had two.
What you need two cars?
They had a deputy, right?
They had a deputy
who was incompetent.
Share the car. Just drive around.
And they could lock up the jail at night and go home.
Because they were all related. These are like 3 families in the whole town.
And
you can leave your door unlocked. The sheriff is your brother. What are you gonna do? That's why you had the drunk that just basically lived at the sheriff's station. He was that's
okay. Somebody had nerd comment on my Andy Griffith choice. I'm still going in. Andy Griffith was about a country bumpkin sheriff that lets all the criminals walk free.
Thank you.
No, he made it. Look, he was about disciplining children. When that little bad boy came in from town, he told that father, "Hey, I got the woodshed out back. You know what to do." Okay, not the way I would discipline a child, but that's what they did back then. I'm not getting off my choice. I think Andy Griffith was a fantastic. And
who was the father?
Andy Griffith.
No, the father that he told to go handle his business.
I forgot the episode.
The Incredible Hulk. The TV show.
Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, my gosh, it was.
So what?
He was the father. Oh, my gosh. Dang, y'all, we just got shot.
Just got who?
I just got shocked. I just remembered that. Yeah, Bill Bixby was the father.
I don't know who Bill Bixby is.
The
The Incredible Hulk. Wait a minute. You don't know who Bill Bixby is?
Man, just say you don't watch TV.
You just
I know Lou Ferrigno. That was the Hulk.
Okay, but before the Hulk turned into the Hulk, he was Bill Bixby.
David Banner was played by Bill Bixby, according to what y'all saying. He was a very unremarkable looking guy. He looked like a serial killer.
That's a whole different show, but say what?
You take the character of David Banner and you do a profile of serial killers in America, and he feel right in there with the lineup. Sorry, dude. That's what you looked like back then. Hey.
But you loved Lou Ferrigno.
I didn't love Lou Ferrigno. I just knew who he was. He was the big, strong guy. He played the Hulk. And he became the lovable, big, strong guy.
Man, you take TV shows too.
Boy, you take them too serious. I'm like, boy, what?
You can look at a TV show and, hey, Theus, write down what you feel about this TV show. And I guarantee you get a dictionary back. You just go way too deep for
serial
TV
killer.
show.
You just called David Banner a serial killer.
I did not. I said he looked like one.
But he's in great shape, though, because all he do is walk.
Thank you. And then do
probably
this.
Got flat feet all that walking, though. Could you imagine having an ingrown toenail and having to do all that walking? Oh, man.
He would hitchhike.
Yeah, that's safe. That's safe. Hey, you know what? Why do they tell people not to hitchhike? What kind of people are they telling you to avoid? Why they don't want you to hitchhike? Oh, I'm sorry. Serial killers. See, they were trying to tell you in the show, but y'all weren't picking it up.
Because we only wanted to watch him turn into the Hulk.
Just saying.
And the worst part about that show, though,
when he changed back.
No, that song at the end of the show.
Oh, I love the walking away song at the end. Love that song.
That was the most depressing thing.
Dun, 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 dun,
well, you can just go on to kill again.
He never killed anybody. That's why he was on the run.
You never saw it.
It never happened.
It never happened. He did kill the person that died in the fire.
It was implied.
You know what, Marlon? Name your choice, because I'm not with you today, Theus. No. I'm with you today.
Oh, I don't have a list. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Okay, well, I'll throw you another one. Let's see. We did Heathcliff. We did James.
Oh, I guess I can look at
Robert Townsend, the dad in Parenthood.
I agree with you. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that one. I definitely agree with that.
And then I want to say I should have at least one non-black dad. Oh, I did say Al Bundy. My next one, Bob Belcher.
Ooh.
It's Bob's Burgers. It's a cartoon show, but it's a sitcom. It's for
I mean, I named Homer Simpson as one of the worst TV dads. So animation counts.
Yeah. I knew that was going to be a little of a stretch. Y'all probably wouldn't.
You could have said Peter Griffiths, but I think he's a terrible dad.
Terrible.
He's a terrible dad. I'm like,
he was terrible on all levels.
I got my one, and he's not a dad per se, but he played the dad role, Bernie Mac.
I agree with that.
I can dig that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Now, the Bernie Mac show, I love that show. Love that show.
But yeah.
Well, who else you got, Tracy? So I can go ahead and complain about
him. Another unusual choice. Another one that comes. This is my honorable mention of TV dads. I got two of them. Mike Brady, the Brady Bunch.
Boo.
And Howard Cunningham, Happy Days.
Who?
I think those were two solid TV dads.
If you say so. Boo on Brady Bunch, head to toe, top to bottom, left to right, diagonal, perpendicular, and parallel. Boo to the Brady
Mike
Bunch.
Brady was a great dad. He was patient. He was raising kids that wasn't. He was raising 3 girls that wasn't
Those
even his.
kids were his.
No, the 3 boys were his.
Right, but when he married her mother,
he took
those
on
were
the role
his
of
kids.
That's
You don't get a cookie for raising somebody. Oh, you get credit for it, but I'm saying,
yeah, because
he brought kids to the marriage. She brought kids to the marriage,
those
and they
girls
worked together
loved
to
him
raise
so
them
much
kids.
they took his last name, and we never knew what their real last names were.
That's because it was a show based out of the 60s, and back then women didn't have a choice. You took the last name.
No, the woman didn't have a choice, but the daughters did.
And the kids would just roll on up. Let's not pretend like that this wasn't the time of the era where, like we're talking about based on the time frame. That was just what it was back then. You ain't walk around with mixed match names.
I'm sticking to my. And he was the only one in the house that had an outside job
because she wasn't allowed to work.
She could have worked. Alice worked.
I bet she wouldn't allow. Because the class that the Brady Bunch represented was a class where she was not allowed to work. It would have been a social stigma for her to have been working. That's why they had a maid.
Well, no, they had a maid because Mrs. C couldn't cook. Mrs. Brady couldn't cook.
She was a kept woman.
Yeah, I agree. Now that part I agree with.
So that's what I'm saying. You got to look at it in the entirety of
but
that.
I think as a provider, as a leader, he was the captain of the family.
Well, he had to be.
She was a tread wife before tread wife.
Right. She's the prototype for tread wife.
Yeah.
I don't see how can y'all be against Mike Brady. He was a great dad. The way he interacted with, like
I can't tell you one way or the other. I never watched the show.
What?
I may have seen maybe 2 episodes my whole life.
I'm not watching that show. What for? What?
What is it? Who raised y'all?
There was absolutely nothing about that show.
There is nothing appealing about watching a show full of kids and a stay-at-home mom.
Marlon, that was like the Van Trapp family in a TV series. I ain't trying to watch that. Now, I like the movie, A Song of Music, but I ain't trying to watch it all the time. And I'm definitely not trying to watch a whole series about the Van Trapp family. Congratulations. Y'all are wealthy. You have everything you could possibly need. You're also the privileged people in the society, and you don't have to go to work. And congratulations, you can afford to feed all them kids and hire a nanny and have a kept wife. Congratulations. That's not that. Yeah, I can't.
I think he was a great TV dad. He related to his children. He told Greg not to use that book when he found it off the football team. He was. So
was he the central character, or was?
It was a kid. The show was based off of the kids.
Right. I mean, as far as like parental wise, was the mom as active a character as he was?
Not really.
Oh, so okay.
They would go to both of them for advice, but eventually, they would go to both of them for advice. But usually Kira would always defer to Mike.
Right, because it was preaching a particular perspective for how families should run.
Yeah. And in terms of Mr. C, not only was he a good father to Richie, Joni, and the one that disappeared, he also was a good father to the mom.
Happy Days. Yeah.
Yeah, Happy Days.
Oh, Happy Days. Okay. I didn't know. I don't know anything about Happy Days. So I didn't know you would change shows. I thought you were still talking about the Bradys.
No.
Happy Days was a good show. Until he jumped the shark, and then
Happy Days was a good show until Richie left. Once Richie was gone and they brought in old boy from Married with Children, I'm like, I'm done. I can't with this no more.
I think it got to the point where once the kids grew up, it just
and that pump the song, because Fonzie jumped the shark in like season 4.
Yeah,
and then it came
after that. I'm gonna tell you exactly the term "jump the shark" came from that show, because this dude had to jump a shark tank, but you had to wear your leather coat. I'm like, okay, this enough is enough.
And the shark was in a cage. I'm like, come on now, are y'all for real?
Like, this is enough is enough. So okay, but
are my two.
You had some great spinoffs though, Mork and Mindy and Laverne and Shirley.
Wait, Mork and Mindy came off that show?
Yes.
Yep.
Mork and Mindy was a spinoff of Happy Days.
How?
Okay.
Because Mork was from Ork.
Mork was
Mork showed up to the house first.
So he time traveled back to the 50s. That's when Happy Days took place. And because Robin Williams is Robin Williams, they said, oh, let's give him his own show. But when he had his own show, he was back in normal times, the 70s.
Wait a minute. So in Happy Days, an alien came in.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He played Mork on Happy Days.
Was this before or after the shark?
I think it was after.
Because that would make sense if it was after the shark. Because apparently that's when it got hilarious.
It was after the shark.
I'll take your word for it. I really honestly can't remember.
I think it was after. But
I know Laverne and Shirley was relatively early in the seasons.
Laverne and Shirley spun off like season 3 of Happy Days.
Yeah,
I like Laverne and Shirley. That was a fun show.
Till they moved to California. Oh,
I don't know time frame because I don't know the show that well. But
I literally stopped watching when they moved to California.
I'm like, nah, let me just start over again. Let me not do that.
But I love Lucy. Always couldn't stand that.
I got a new name, and apparently I got a tail, or I just it's something about dads who take on men who take on the roles of being a dad, but he is a dad, but he just went on and took somebody else under his wing and treated him like one of his own. Philip Banks, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I forgot all of that.
Yeah, I never liked this character too much.
You didn't like Uncle Phil?
Uncle Phil, you would understand Uncle Phil more when he have those one-on-one, heart-to-heart talks with Will, and when he does it, it's something about him talking to you like he was the first person who coined the phrase, "Dad, how rich are we?" We ain't rich.
Bill Cosby said that first.
Oh yeah, he said it to Vanessa. But he had a way of talking to you and making you see what you did wrong, see what you can, how to correct it, and let's move on. And I love that about it. Like, he doesn't hold things over people's heads forever. Like, you did wrong, you got lucky, and he was closer to the men that I grew up with, because not all of them was, let's sit down and discuss this really quietly and let's come to a conclusion. No, there was sometimes he was yelling at the top of his freaking lungs, but
and when what's her name? Hillary's boyfriend died in there. He was comforting her. And next episode, she forgot all about him.
No, it's hilarious. Only that show could make a man dying from skydiving hilarious. That was hilarious. I don't even remember that.
Yeah,
when I first saw it, I had tears rolling down my face. I could not.
We got somebody said this about Uncle Phil. I agree, disagree with this one. Uncle Phil was a rich corporate lawyer hurting the little guy for money. I'm gonna disagree.
That's definitely an angle. And it was also, if you think about it, Starks and Starks, which was his other show where he played the father of two lawyers. So he was like really good in it. But he was a phenomenal actor.
He was the voice of Shredder.
I think was his name. Tremendous actor. I just personally felt like the show was too over the top for me.
But that's what it was meant to be.
I understand that, but I'm saying for me, it was too over the top. That's why I didn't really like Martin. It was too over the top. I can watch them. I have favorite episodes in both of those shows, like both of those types of shows. But to just enjoy the show, I couldn't do it. Like, I liked Hillary because I had a crush on Hillary. I had liked Ashley because I was the same age as Ashley and I had a crush on Ashley. I liked Carlton because I thought he was quirky and funny.
But which Aunt Viv did you like though?
Oh, original Aunt Viv all day.
Yes.
All day. Don't nobody choose Aunt Viv number 2. Nobody choose. Nobody.
No, absolutely nobody.
But didn't it show like when the
nothing
first Aunt Viv left and the second one came, they took that dramatic turn. I'm like, what? Ain't that supposed to be a comedy?
And the funny thing about it is, and they addressed it on the show because it's like, Jazz came and said,
something's different.
Something's different about you.
Who is that? That's Aunt Viv.
And then she looked in the camera. I'm like, man, if you're going to replace an actor, first Aunt Viv, Chocolate Queen, hers. Then they go replace her with light skin. Like, they didn't even try. They was just like, oh, well, let's just throw this
Tracy,
in.
Sometimes you say some stuff that make me just be like, come on, Tracy.
You should keep at least the skin tone. If somebody's going to play me in a biopic, you're not going to get a light-skinned actor to play me. I'm dark.
This wasn't a biopic, though. It's a comedy.
But
so it was actually comedic genius because they went with two people who were completely different.
Colorism.
Yeah, you are expressing some colorism. But the show was like, we got skinny, dark-skinned Aunt Viv, and then we got normal size or full figure, light-skinned Aunt Viv.
She wasn't big. She was like, she was normal size.
Yeah. And then they bring them in. And the way they were doing it was just like,
when you
I know you know.
It's like, that's not even, I'm like, y'all didn't even try. They was like, oh, well, let's just get anybody. Like,
that was part of the joke.
Get somebody within the same skin
No, that would have
tone.
been worse. That would have been worse. Like, let's say they had got rid of original Aunt Viv and they brought in the mom from the parents.
And she was treated dirty, by the way. I'm just going to say that they treated original Aunt Viv dirty. Dirty.
She had her hand in that.
Will treated her dirty.
Yeah, Will did her wrong.
Will did her wrong.
Yeah.
Don't cut her rose and then say, you can't be in nothing else. Excuse you? Nah. That's what made me mad. And then, like I said, it took this dramatic turn. Like, it was funny over time. And then all of a sudden, they're talking about all these deep issues and still trying to be over the top. It was like
that was actually more
the NBC after school special. That's what Fresh Prince is doing.
I like when a TV show has a message and it tries to teach you something.
A message, but boy, they tried to make it was like they were trying to be like a drama. They were trying to be MASH, and that made me sick.
No one ever tries to be MASH. MASH is an abomination of television shows. No one ever tries to.
They were trying to be funny. It was like, are y'all a comedy? Are you? Which one are you? Like, are you funny or are you dramatic? I couldn't
comedy drama.
See, that don't work for me. You got to be one or the other for me.
Okay, it ain't so much you can make funny in the Vietnam War.
Family Ties did it.
Yep, and I forgot
House did it.
I couldn't think of the guy's name. He's a good TV dad of the Family Ties. He was a good TV dad. I can't never think of his name though.
The one who's if
you think about it, Good Times was basically trying to make comedy over a very
heavy,
dramatic time, the 70s, the dramatic area, the ghetto, dramatic family, poor, dramatic race, black. I mean, try to make a comedy around a whole bunch of drama.
Yeah, but see, what you end up running into, Marlon, is that depending upon your taste in shows, Black struggle is allowed to be complicated, but Black success is not. And what the Fresh Prince did at the pivot that Tracy's talking about was you had a combination of Black success and the Black, navigation serious issues. I actually liked it. That's when I started to pay more attention, honestly, because I watched it in the very beginning because I liked Will Smith as a rapper. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, okay.
And then you realize he's a terrible rapper and he's a way better actor.
Well, it took him time to become a better actor. That first season of The Fresh Prince, he was still bad.
That first episode.
Yeah, but he matured because he was surrounded by real actors. I mean, when you come into work every day with Uncle Phil Aunt Viv,
First
the
one.
guy who played Jeffrey. Carlton, these are 4 classically trained actors. You ain't got no choice but to get better, or the show's going to go off the air. It's one of the two. So I think that really helped him. And then at the same time, he got some really good advice from what I hear, that it was around first season, second season time frame where he was told, start acting, start doing movies. Because if you don't, you will be locked into this role. I think that really helped him too.
But he treated the first Aunt Viv wrong, but then they reconciled, so I'll shut up on that. I'll tell you who else was a good TV dad, and we don't think about. He didn't make my list, but I think I don't know if anybody's gonna agree with this choice. I think Fred Sanford is a good TV dad.
Okay.
Nobody gonna yell at me and say that's a terrible dad.
He wasn't a terrible dad, but he was raising a grown son, so it's kind of hard to.
I'm about to say I can't put him on the list because it's like,
yeah, he's not on my list, but I'm like, he was a decent TV dad, dealing with this adult child that still lived at home for some reason. He wanted better for his son.
How good of a dad was he? That
no, well, part of the reason his son was still at the house is because his son also felt responsible for taking care of his dad, because his dad never adjusted well to losing his mom.
Yep.
He started dating again.
And remember, Lamont would purposely, like at the beginning, he would purposely destroy the relationship with Donna. Like he would cause arguments for like no reason.
Yeah.
Because in a sense, he didn't get over it.
He basically wasn't getting over the
He didn't get over the death of his mom. He didn't want to see Fred with her.
Yeah, Lamont was an interesting character, but I don't know about anybody else, but Lamont definitely reminds me of people that I've known, growing up, like that type of person, so. But yeah, I wouldn't take him off. I wouldn't take Fred off.
Yeah, he's not on my list, but I'm like, he's a good TV.
His son was grown, so it was hard to.
Yeah, he is how you relate to a grown child. And of course, I can't think of the TV dad on Family Ties. I'm like, what was anybody out there watching?
Jason Seaver, I think was his name.
No, that was Growing Pains.
Oh, I don't know. But the dad was good on Family Ties.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I really like that dad. He was calm. He was cool. He worked for PBS. Actually, they both worked for PBS.
Yeah. Raising a Little Republican.
Yes, and they were hip. They were like seriously liberals, and they had raising this Republican son who adored Ronald Reagan.
Who are we talking about?
Family Ties. We can't think of the name of the
Michael
father.
J. Fox's TV
Michael
show.
J. Fox.
No, Michael J. Fox was the son. What's the father's name?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know Alex Keaton was Michael J. Fox, but what was the dad's name?
I mean, I don't know
his real name
other than Michael
J. Fox. Michael Gross.
Yeah, Michael Gross is his real name, but I'm like, what was his name on the show?
What was
Stephen
the girl's
Keaton. Name? They were the Keatons. Stephen Keaton.
Okay, thank you. Because I'm like, and she was Elise.
So the daughter name was Mallory, right?
Mallory and
Oh, there
I
was
don't
a
know
third daughter.
the other one.
It was a third daughter.
And there's a little kid too.
There were two girls. I do not count when they brought on that little Nikki. Ugh. Like what? You serve no purpose.
I don't know the show well enough.
It
came on right after the Cosby Show, and you don't know it. So like the Cosby Show would come on, and you would just turn off.
I don't know if you've noticed this about me, Tracy. I have a very clear bias on the television shows that I watch.
Yeah, because I'm like, what you just turn it off? You didn't watch Night Court. You didn't watch Cheers.
I love Night Court.
Okay, but what did you do? Like right after it came on, right after the Cosby Show.
Well, if the Cosby Show came on at 8, and I was this is back when I was really young, right? Because I was Rudy's age. So I probably went to bed.
Oh, yeah, because what year did the Cosby Show come on? 80?
Because they had like prime time, so they would have been an 8 o'clock show. So 8:30, I was probably on my way to bed.
Wait a minute. What year let me ask. I'm going to ask Google.
But I do have to get ready to wrap.
Yeah, I know, because I'm like, we got another podcast. We're gonna be seeing each other a lot today. But my ultimate number one TV dad is James Evans Sr. There's no.
To me, Cosby Show still wins.
When I think of dads, like he's more similar to my dad. Like how he would sacrifice for his family. Now his temper, they kind of exaggerate when he threw that chair against the wall. Like, dude, hypertension does not cause you to throw chairs at the wall. It just don't. Right. Hypertension don't do that.
I couldn't see. James Evans is more like the generation that raised my parents, and Cosby Show is more like the generation that raised me. So that's why I didn't.
My dad was nowhere near. My dad was way closer to James Evans than Dr. Huxtable. Way closer. That's why I could identify with him more.
But to answer your question, Cosby Show was 84 to 92.
Yeah, because I was like 10.
Yeah, so that would have put me at what, 6 years old.
Yeah, you'd have been 6. So yeah, you were going to bed. I'm like,
92 was like I was 12.
Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute. You just like stop watching it? I don't know what happened. Because see, I would watch Who's the Boss, and then I would go to NBC and watch Family Ties and then Cheers.
I don't remember it that well. And then Family Ties, I'm almost positive I only watched on rerun. And I might have watched a few regular episodes, but it just wasn't my type of show because the main character was Alex, and I didn't like him. Like, he was just okay. I think I could watch the show because I loved his movies.
Oh yeah, because
right? he was Teen Wolf, he was Back to the Future. Like I loved his movies. Secret of My Success, right? I don't know about time and how those line up, but I'm just saying that I'm pretty sure I watched Family Ties and rerun.
Yep. Because like I said, James Evans definitely top TV dad all time. I don't want to hear it. Michael Landon.
He's on my list. I don't know where I would rank him. He's on my list, but Bill takes number one for me. Yeah.
Yep. So because Marlon disappeared, where can we find? Oh, well, there he's back. We're going. Now he's froze again.
I don't know why. But
so, I can't talk. Everybody, thank you for watching. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Thank you.
Have a great one. Restaurant should be open if I'm pretty sure about it, because I'm pretty sure most dads will be barbecuing instead of going out. But enjoy your day. Thank you all for being the great dads that you are. And I'm not going to get into my rant about wishing your mother happy Father's Day, because to me, that's not possible. But that's a whole nother show. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, share. We're up to 75 shares. No, we're 75 likes, 50 shares or something like that. 40 shares. 75 likes, 40 shares per show. Remember to mark your calendars for September the 20th. I will see you all I'm going to go into Thea's podcast here in just a moment. Be sure to check that out. But Justice is Here will be on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we got a big old announcement that we get to make. So tune in for that. I'm doing the out. Marlon, tell us where we can find you, because Thea's already told us where we can find him.
You will find me tonight, Saturday Night Vibe, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, Radical Truth to Power at 8 o'clock. And there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I may, 2 things. 1, to find Marlon, just search on YouTube for Radical Truth to Power. Radical Truth to Power. It'll take you to him. There you go. And then make sure you are supporting Tracy with her endeavors. Help her get things that she needs so she can continue to put out the content. I mean, the lady is a machine. She's constantly putting out stuff. And then for those of you who are out there who are doing the protests, and that's what you do, much more power to you guys. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, everybody. Join me tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Justice is Here podcast. Like I said, we got a big old announcement to make. We're so happy to make this announcement. I'm going to take everybody down, do the outro, and we'll see you tune into Thesis Complex Mind, Simple Man.
Well, the show that we're doing today is actually going to be on my Our United Core channel.
Okay.
But that you can only find that really on the website. But Complex Mind, Simple Man is where you find any content on a regular, stretching the word regular, that I put out.
Every 4 years. That's what we're going to say. Okay, guys. Thank you so much again. Happy Father's Day. And I'll see you all in about 45 minutes. Okay, Marlon, I'm removing you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.